Good evening and welcome to the America F1 Series. Round 8 of the championship takes us to the Temple of Speed. That is the Autodromo di Monza, if that's how you pronounce it. Apologies if I've named the place wrong. Otherwise, it's known as Monza. And in Italy, close to the city of Milan. And we've got two drivers in contention for the title. They are Cyclonado in the Williams and Doris PJA in the AlphaTauri. So it's known as the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza. That's what I was after. So just to run down everything, so it'll be an 18-minute qualifying session before the 27-lap Italian Grand Prix. This is the Division 1 category. The Division 2 race was last night. The results for that haven't quite been updated yet in terms of who won, but if you do know who's won, do please let me know. As far as the weather is concerned, it's expected to be cloudy and overcast, so we're not expecting any rain during the course of this session. We've got 17 drivers waiting to go out in this qualifying session. Well, it's already begun. We're just waiting for some cars to go out onto the track. Sarli is one of them. It's been very quick during the season, this Sarli. Sometimes the results haven't quite matched up to them. So into turn 1 he comes, into the Rettifiglio chicane. Through the Curva Grande. And down to the Della Rocha chicane, which could be an area where drivers get penalties or whatever. Sarli's looking for a strong finish here. Perhaps the top 5 result would be satisfactory for him. Bishop's Finger looking to bounce back. He did miss last week. Well, missed the last 2 races. He's only done 3 races in this campaign, Bishop's Finger, with a 9th place finish in Austria being his best result. But we'll go back to Sarli, who is starting his flying lap now. But one of the Red Bulls going off into the escape road. And it looks to be that... Is that Jim Strav who stopped? It is Jim Strav. I'm not sure what's happening here. The car's in neutral. And yeah, he's been disqualified from the session. Not sure what on earth has happened involving him. And we'll go back to Sarli, who's coming through Lesmo now. Here is the Ascari chicane. Now coming up towards the Parabolica, the 11th and last turn before the pit straight. And the time here is going to be a 1 minute 20.2. We've got a Ferrari next behind. That'll be SDQ. He begins his first time lap. And Mark coming through as well. So his teammate crossing the line to 20.7. He goes second fastest on this on the medium compound. Radicon third on the sauce on the 20.7. We've got a Williams next up, that's Bishop's Finger. It's a 1 minute 25.1. He's lost a lot of time somewhere. Juninho coming back into the pits as his lap was invalidated. Tilwick crossing over the line for Haas. It's a 21-0. 3/10 behind Radicon on that lap, so it's a good effort from Tilwick. WSPGA going fastest on a 1 minute 20.0. So WSP setting the initial pace. And we've got, looks like Sally's gone off at the Ascara chicane and rejoins. Psychonada now goes fastest on 1 minute 18.6, so the lap times are quickly coming down. Vinati Nata, the owner of the America F1 Series. And there can be Nati Nata putting a stellar performance here at Monza. He showed some good pace at Silverstone a couple of rounds ago. He wasn't able to convert into a solid race result. It's a 1 minute 20.7. Goes faster than Radicon with that time. Vinati Nata showing some good pace in the Haas. And imagine he's been working on car setup over the last few weeks. And clearly that is paying off for him so far. And there's definitely more time to come from him. That's for certain. He'll switch back. Last time out at Spa. Came home in 6th position, equaling his best result of the campaign. He's not going to have a time on this occasion because his lap time's been invalidated for track limits. His teammate Ray being drafted in. 5.1. It's not a quick lap, is that? And Gamer James has had a moment with the wall somewhere. Quasinada's 6th fastest for Alfa Romeo on a 1 minute 20.2. And Bishop's Finger coming through. Heading towards the Parabolica. There is an Alfa Romeo in front of him. That'll be Quasinada. He wants to be in the 1 minute 20s. It's a 1 minute 21.5. It's a better lap than before, but he stays 11th, the slowest of all the drivers who have set a lap time. So switchback. Where will he end up on the grid? Thomas Indu. .52.5 in sector 2 now for switchback, with just over 10 minutes remaining. Plenty of time for those to head out on the circuit and get a lap time in. Psychonado fastest by half a second over SDQ in 2nd place. Switchback on the soft compound, crossing over the line to post a 1 minute 19.9. He backed off as he headed towards the line. That'll be because he wants to try and set a faster time on the mediums so he can start the race on those medium tyres. Thomas Indu on a 54.6 so far. There's Juninho right behind. Well, I say right behind, he's actually just going past Ascari now. Thomas Indu just about kept his car within the limits of the racetrack. He posts the slowest time of them all, 1 minute 22.1. Juninho, who's relatively quick in the AlphaTauri. Not as quick as his teammate, but he does do a respectable job. That's the 1 minute 20.3, goes 8 with that time. Sarli's on a faster lap in the Renault than what he's posted before. There's a racing point who I believe is just completing this out lap, which is Ray. Solly's previous lap time was a 1 minute 20.2. It's now 1 minute 19.7. That puts him fourth behind WSP. Good lap that from Solly. Cyclonado 1,000 down in sector 1. What will he be in sector 2? He wants to be in the 52s ideally. It's a 52.0. He's a quarter of a second up from his previous time, but he's exceeded track limits and his lap time has been taken away. Not the lap time is on the board right now, but the lap time he would have posted. Denmark also on an invalid lap. Bishop's finger posting a better time, 1 minute 21.1 for him. Ray on the medium compound. There's a gaggle of cars ahead of him. It's like another moving out of the way to let everyone by, including Ray. He's coming through the Parabolica now. We expect to see a faster lap time than before. It's going to be a 21.6. He goes 14th with that time. DRS open on the Alfa Romeo of Elog. .52.6 in sector 2. It's not the quickest we've seen. This should put him in the top 3, I'd reckon, if not top 4. He's got the Parabolica to get through. Hang out the last turn. And it's going to be a 1 minute 19.2, and he goes third ahead of WSP. Gamer James on a flying lap in the Ferrari. He's in need of a strong result here. He finished 5th last time out. But the last 3 races he started, he has finished 5th. So finding some form now is James, who wants to try and do better than that here at Monza. Especially now that he is racing for Ferrari. Got out of shape, exiting Ascari. Cyclonado going quicker than before at 1 minute 18.2. Nearly a second clear of everyone else. Gamer James looking to post his first time of the session. And it's going to be a 1 minute 19.4, which puts him 5th ahead of Sarli. So the top 10, as it stands, will all be starting on the soft compound. Quasinada on a flying lap in the Alfa Romeo. Looking to better his position and time. He'll probably be in the low 53s in sector 2. It's a 53.2. Half a 10th down. And his previous best by that point of the lap. Five minutes remaining in Q. Well, I was almost going to say Q1, but it's actually the only qualifying session for these guys. So wherever they end up will be their positions for the race start. WSP has posted a 1 minute 18.7 on his last time. He's on a better lap on this, but it's not going to be enough for him to leapfrog his championship rival. It's coming back into the pits, actually. So we've got 4.5 minutes remaining. Cyclonado ahead of WSP, then it's SDQ, and then Elog, Gamer James, Sarli, Switchback, Aston Masters, Quasinada, and Juninho. Your top 10. Aston Masters going quicker than before in sector 1. Binatinato a satisfying 11th fastest in the Haas. 1 minute 20.7 here set. Nearly 2 tenths up through the second sector. And Switchback, who backed off on his run on soft compounds, is looking to go faster on the mediums here. A 1 minute 19.9 to beat. Is he going to do it? No, he's missed out by a couple of hundredths actually. Aston Masters crossing over the line to go 6th. B Natty Natty has posted a better time than before, but he stays 11th fastest. Radicon going for another run. Tuick on the mediums as well. There's an Alpha Tauri just coming through the parabolic, and now that's Juninho, who is looking to improve from 10th. He's over 3/10 up from his previous best in Sector 2, so this could be him going up to 8th or 9th, I should think. He goes up to 7th, ahead of Sali on a 1 minute 19.7. That's a decent lap time there from the Swiss driver. And Aston Masters has crashed out on the exit of the De La Roche chicane. Not sure what's happened, but it seems to have binned it. Well, WSP is just coming through now. The car's been removed actually, so we can't quite see the state of Aston Masters' car. I just hope he hasn't done that deliberately, to be honest with you. Oh, and Radicon nearly ran into the back of what looks like Quasi Nada. No, in fact, it was Elog who was getting by. And Radicon's lap so far is not actually that quick. Over the line, it's a 1 minute 20.0. He goes 10th, which is a 10th of a second behind Switchback. Denmark on a fast lap. And we've got a McLaren who's coming through. Comes Indy, that is. Denmark 9/10 up from what he had set on the mediums earlier. I would say he's going to go into the low 1 minute 19s here. Probably around where Elog and Gamer James are. One minute 25 to go. Denmark over the line to post a 1 minute 19.3. And he does go between Elog and James. So good luck there from Denmark. The American looking to continue his form. He's only failed to finish once this season. That was at the Red Bull Ring. Gamazindu's had his latest lap invalidated. DSP looking to improve. I mean, finding 4/10 is really hard. Elog posting a 1 minute 18.7. Less than a 10th away from WSP's time. That's a good effort that from Elog, who goes past the polystyrene boards at the Retifilia chicane. He's desperate to get round in time, but I think he's going to run out of time before the checker flag falls to start another lap. So who's coming through next then? We've got a Williams who seems to be on a flying lap. That'll be Cycle Nardo. No, he's on an out lap actually. And Elog has stopped out on circuit. Now, is that him stopping out on circuit? Now, the thing is, you're not supposed to retire on track. You're supposed to retire in the pit lane. So I think Elog may be spoken to by the owner of the America F1 Series or the stewards about driving standards. And Ray has had his latest lap invalidated for exceeding track limits, so he won't be going any faster than before. So WSP get faster than before in Sector 2. We'll stay with him. Can he find 4/10s to take pole position away from Cyclonado? It's highly unlikely that he'll be able to do it. Crosses over the line, he goes into the pits, so that should guarantee Cyclonado pole position for the Italian Grand Prix. SDQ not going any faster than before, he'll be coming back in. And the only driver on the lap right now is Gummers Indu. And once he crosses over the line, we will have our grid for Monza. And Gummers Indu looking to improve on 17th position. Go up to like 12th or 13th maybe. Goes ahead of Binattinata into 13th place. So Gummers Indu will start 13th on the grid. And through all that, Cyclonado has bagged pole position ahead of WSP, crucially. So he's on course. I was going to say he's on course to put himself in the frame for extending his gap at the championship. 21 points is the margin between him and WSP going into the race. So Cyclonado is on pole ahead of WSP, Elog 3rd, SDQ 4th, Denmark 5th, Gamer James 6th, Acid Master 7th, Quasinada in 8th, making up row 4, Jinio and Sali on row 5, then Switchback and Radicon on row 6, Gummers Indu and Binattinata on row 7, Tilwick and Bishop's Finger on row 8, Ray and Jim Strav make up the 9th row of the grid. I was going to say that the Drivers' Championship, 21 points between Cyclonado in the lead and WSP in second. It is very much certain that it's just those two that will be going for the title. They both have 3 wins each. WSP did miss one of the races earlier in the campaign in Canada. He's looking to make up for lost time here. He really does need a good result and hope that Cyclonado hits trouble. So it's relatively overcast again. Just looking to see if there's any more drivers that have joined. As for tonight, it doesn't appear to be. So 18 drivers will take to the grid for this 27-lap Italian Grand Prix. So we'll take the opportunity to have a look who is starting on what. The drivers will go off onto their formation lap. So the top 10, unsurprisingly, starting on the soft compound switchback. Gummers Indu, Ray and Jim Straff on the mediums. The rest are all on softs. So only 4 drivers starting the race on the mediums. No one starting on the hard compounds. Drivers don't feel there's enough pace on that compound. Wonder what Cyclonado and WSP will be thinking going forward in the battle for the race victory. Can Elog cause a surprise and take his first victory of the season? Cyclonado. And Cyclonado leading the cars onto the grid. There's Elog there, SDQ, a long way behind actually. Backing the field up. And last place man Jim Strav hoping to make up good ground from the back. Cyclonado and WSP take up their positions on the grid, but they're going to be waiting such a long time for the rest of the field to form up. So waiting for Jim Shaw to take up the last position on the grid, which he does so now. Everyone is in position. The Temple of Speed. He'll not only be the fastest, he will come away as the victor here at Monza. It's lights out, and away we go. Cyclonado gets off the line well, as does WSP, but WSP is alongside the Williams as they come into the Rettifilo chicane. He will break the latest of the two as they enter turn one. It's Cyclonado. So, there's a tap from behind, and Elog's gone off onto the grass. Not sure who's caused that, but the top two stay in first and second places. There's Denmark ahead of Janino, and we've got Aston Masters making up ground in the Rebels. Well, I think Denmark's got damage to his front wing, so Janino easily goes up into third place. Aston Masters is in fourth, or trying to get into fourth positions. They go into the Della Rosa chicane now, and we've got Elog off into the run-off area of the Della Rosa chicane. Takes the long way round before rejoining, and the drivers making their way through. Bits of leaves and branches coming off the trees of the bits of trees, like leaves and branches, you name them all. Bits of debris flying around as the field made their way round the Ascari chicane. Cyclonado and WSP leading, and it's Janino out of Denmark. Gamer James in fifth. It's Aston Masters, Switchback, Sali, Gummers Indu, and Quasi Nada. Now, I'd be interested to know who caused that first lap incident there, because that was really, really ferocious. The manner in which the drivers went into turn one there. So Denmark, I imagine he'll be coming into the pits at the end of the start, does he? No. Decides to stay out with the damage he's got to his front wing. So the gap between Cyclonado and WSP is half a second as Gamer James pulls alongside Denmark as they go into turn one. He'll have more cornering grip than the Renault because of Denmark's damaged front wing, and he goes through. And B Natinata is coming into the pits, and he's got a 5-second penalty for speeding. Elog coming into the pits as well. Now, was it B Natinata that caused that first lap incident? Because it happened from quite a way back. So Switchback in sixth place, Denmark in fifth. WSP chasing after Cyclonado. He needs to win this race, does WSP, to realistically keep his title hopes alive. Switchback losing 3 positions actually, as Gummers Indo goes past and up to 9th. Switchback down to 10th place. There's no damage to the Racing Point's car. The Racing Point car, I should say. And DRS is now enabled as Cyclonado and WSP begin lap 3. So they can use the DRS when they are within 1 second of the car in front at the detection point. Radicon passing Quasinada for 10th place. Bishop's Finger right behind as well. The drivers go through turn 1. Not too many more incidents there. And Cyclonado 7 tenths clear of WSP. Virginio 3rd, Gamer James 4th, Denmark 5th. And Aston Masters closing in behind. There's an incident set to 3. I think that's Binatinati who's just had a moment, but continued. WSP using his DRS to close back in on Cyclonado. He'll be using the DRS to try and get past Gummers Indu, who's had a moment in the McLaren. Has he got damage to his front wing? No, he hasn't, by the looks of it. He's dropped down a lot of places in that. Sali now behind Aston Masters, but he's quite a way back actually. So it looks like someone else has had a moment, but continued anyway. WSP with a new fastest lap. He'll be using his DRS to close in on the start-finish straight. So we're looking to get past Gummers Indu. Decides to back out of it on this occasion. Cyclonado still leads with DRSP closing behind. Juninho in third place. With Switchback right behind Sarli as they tussle over 7th position. Cyclonado 7/10 clear of his championship rival. So it gets by Gummers Indu for 15th place now. Switchback determined to get in front of Sarli, but Aston Masters is looking to fend off the position here. Sarli goes to the inside and goes up to 6th place. And someone else has had a moment. It's Gummers Indu who's spun again. And Aston Masters determined to get back through. What about Switchback? Does he make a lunge down the inside into the Via chicane? He does go to the inside. He may have cut the corners. Whereas they touch! And Switchback is surely going to lose the position to Radicon, who's alongside. And Radicon gets through. So Switchback loses the position instead of his intention to gain one on Sarli. Radicon goes to the grass before pulling alongside, and that should be 7th place at the De La Rocha chicane. Someone kicking a bit of dust. That'll be Aston Masters. And now Radicon is really, really swamped now by the field. Sarli's still there. Switchback trying to get through as well. Contact made. Now this could end up getting messy, guys, if you're not careful. Switchback going to the outside of Sarli before they get up to the Escara chicane. Switchback gets through. Quasinada does not. And they keep it clean on the exit. Well done, guys. Keep it clean all the way through. That's what we want to see. Switchback has got a time penalty as well for track limits. They'll go to his time at the end of the race. It's incredible battling going on there. It's unreal. You can't take your eyes off it. So Quasinada in 8th. Radicon looking to get back through with DRS. Oh, and Quasinada made a late manoeuvre there to fend off the position. That was a little bit naughty there from the Alfa Romeo driver. Jim Strave moving up to 10th place now. Sarli's dropping back all the time at the moment. Now, he hasn't got damage to his front wing as far as I know. His teammate has done. He's still keeping hold of 5th position. Here's James right on the tail of Juninho in the battle for the final podium spot. CQ making up for lost time. Bishop's Finger now given a time penalty for exceeding track limits. And Gavin James going to the inside of Juninho before they get to the Retifilia chicane. And he goes up to 3rd position. Nice job there from James. Radicon closing up behind Quasinada. Radicon getting a better exit. Does he pull alongside through the Curva Grande? The answer is yes. To the outside he goes, which will give him the inside line when they get to the De La Rocha chicane. But Quasinada does all he can to stay in front. Juninho, 4th position behind James, still within DRS range to have a go back. Denmark content in 5th position. We've got Switchback making a move on Acid Masters for 6th place. Switchback getting through on the Red Bull. Nicely done there from Switchback. Having a good race so far on the medium compound. And Sarli now getting a time penalty for exceeding track limits too many times. Oh, and got the Williams off, and Bishop's fingers into the barrier, and that's surely his race over, and it is. Pushing way too hard on the exit of Ascari, and his race is over. And we've got our first safety car of the race. Now, what will this mean in regards to pit stops? Well, Denmark's just gone past the pit lane. Aston Martin's just come into the pits, as is Quasimodo and Radicon. Sali also in, as is SDQ. Silwick also making the switch. And Psychonado and WSP will need to think about pitting in at the end of this lap. They've already gone past the safety car, so they can go round. And the safety car driver will wait to pick up the field. Elog also in. Probably go on a set of the hard compounds. And Binati Nutter deciding to carry on for another lap. So he sits behind Elog as the leaders come in for their pit stops. So Psychonado further down the pit lane. WSP gets his tyres changed. Onto the mediums he goes. Psychonado keeps his advantage over him. Gavin James also going on to the medium compound. And Switchback might be able to take the lead here on the road. He can. So Switchback, who hasn't stopped yet, leads the race on his medium compound. Safety car has picked up the leaders now. The Switchback, who has picked up a victory in the America F1 Series last season in Austria. He's yet to finish on the podium this season, but this could well be his best chance to do so. Now here's Ray, who apparently is a lap behind the leaders, but I'm not sure if he actually is, you know. Safety car's lights still on, so I'll go around for another lap. There's Tilwick catching up. Gomezin in 14th position. Elog and Binati Nutter. Chance to close off as well. So Switchback turning to warm up his brakes and tyres. We'll find out by the time he gets to the second time beam whether the safety car will be coming in at the end of this lap. We've got 17 laps to go at the end of this one. And the safety car is staying out as far as we know. So we'll be continuing to do another lap. Now, if you're Natty Nutter, do you decide to put and maybe go onto a set of mediums? He's at the back of the field after all. So Switchback has got a time penalty, which he'll have to serve at the end of the race. Jim Strav is in the pits. And he's going on a set of soft compound tyres. Now that's interesting. He'll fall to the back of the field. Might give him an advantage on the restart. We'll find out soon enough. So Switchback leads on lap 11. So Switchback leads behind the safety car, and it's Psychonado ahead of Darius P. Gamer James, Janino, Denmark, Acid Masters, Quasinada, Sali, STQ are your top 10. There are 4 drivers with time penalties at the moment. The current race leader is one of them, who has 3 seconds worth. Sali and STQ are 3 seconds each. Binatinata has a penalty of 5 seconds, of which he will need to serve. The safety car is coming in at the end of this lap, so Switchback has the chance to back up the field and go whenever he feels is best. He can't just go and then jam on the brakes, stop again and go. He has to remain committed. Once he does pull away, he needs to remain accelerating clear of the pack. So Switchback coming through the Parabolica now. The safety car has gone in the pit lane. And Switchback will pull away, but Psychonana's all over the back of him, so that wasn't the best of restarts really from Switchback. Now he's going to have to go defensive. Psychonana going to the outside. Can he brake later than the racing point? The answer is yes. Gets to the outside, and he takes back the lead of the race. Now Switchback is about to lose a position to WSP as well, unless he can hold it out. And Switchback is going to do everything he can to get back the lead of this race. And and Psychonauta has been penalised. Psychonauta has been penalised 5 seconds for ignoring the yellow flags. Now that's interesting because the yellow flags are still showing, controversially. There may well be a glitch in the game, so I'd imagine that Psychonauta will have that penalty rescinded. By the way, he's got that 5-second penalty he'll need to serve at the end of this race or at his next pit stop. WSP in 3rd position. You can see a move from Janino, who keeps hold of 5th place ahead of Denmark. Gamer Jays now gets a time penalty for exceeding shot limits. Denmark to the outside of the AlphaTauri. Does he complete the move there? He does. Goes up to 5th place. Excellent work. Now, WSP needs to get past Switchback as soon as he can and then get onto the rear of Psychonado in front. Goes to the outside on the 2nd lap of the restart here. And WSP should complete the move to put his AlphaTauri up to 2nd place. Breaks that a little bit later. Oh, he pushes Switchback out wide. And Gamer James has got up into 2nd place now through all that. And it looks like Denmark might go up to 3rd. So WSP's race is going from bad to worse at the moment. Insulin set to 1, not sure who that is. Who's that's gone round? I think it's Ray in the racing point who's had a moment. Gamer James now up to 2nd place. Psychonado pulling off into the distance. WSP will be so desperate to get in front of him. Now that Switchback is down to 6th place after that coming together. Switchback getting another time penalty for chat limits. Jim Strav getting past Tilwick for 13th place on his soft compound. And OSP. Oh, and someone's off. B Natty Natter's out. B Natty Natter has crashed out and we've got another safety car. B Natty Natter has probably done a similar thing to what Bishop's Finger had done. And he's crashed out on the exit of Ascari. That's a shame. The Switchback coming in for a set of the soft compound tyres. Elog also in. He's wanted to go a set of the soft compound. Don't think the safety car picks up on... Oh, is that Ray? He's just slowing down almost on the start-finish straight. There seems to be a glitch with his car right now. By the way, Cyclonado is still out in front. But I'm just thinking, will any of those behind him choose to take a gamble and go on to a set of the soft compound? It's been a really weird race this so far. I don't really know who's going to win it. Gamazindu's been going too fast under safety car conditions. He's been given a drive-through penalty. And Sarli, ooh, I thought Sarli was going to come into the pits for a moment there. Tilwick deciding to pit though. He's taking the gamble. It's like another desperate to go. Well, he's desperate for the safety car to go around as quick as it can, but doesn't want to get too close to it. Junio had a Quasinaya, Sarli, SDQ, Rodicon, Jim Strav, comes Indu, Switchback. And B Natanata apologising for the safety car. Means to know what happened because it looks like you just lost control in the middle of Ascari. So the safety car will be staying out for another lap. So WSP looking to get through on Game of James. He needs to get a good restart and get in front of the Ferrari driver. Although I think Game of James will be fancying an opportunity to have a go on Cyclonado on the restart. So we've got 12 laps to go. Psychonado in the lead. At the moment he does not hold the fast lap. WSP holds the fast lap. So if it was to stay like this, Psychonado's lead in the championship would increase to 30 points. Going into the final 3 races of the season, we go to Brazil after this, then Zandvoort, and the last round of the season will be in Austin in the United States. The safety car's in at the end of the lap. Psychonado will back the field up and will decide to go whenever he feels best. And Psychonado has gone now, and he's caught Gamer Jane's napping, to be honest with you. So I think WSP will do the best he can to get into the slipstream and pull alongside. But he's had to back off because the yellow lights are still flashing. And Gamer James locks up into turn 1. Switchback trying to get through on Gunner's Indu, but couldn't quite do so. Jim Stroud trying to fend off Radicon for 9th position, and we've got a battle between SDQ and Sali. Gyro's desperately waiting for those green lights to come on. Still. Now, last time when the safety car restart occurred, it was round about here. And Radicon is out of the race. He's lost it somewhere. He's lost it on the exit of Mesmo. Or in the middle of Lesmo, I should say. Now, is that going to be enough for the safety car to come out again? It's a virtual safety car this time. So Psychonado will slow down, as will the others. So Radicon becomes the 3rd retirement of the race. This is our 3rd interruption of the event. I'm just waiting for the VSC to end. When that minimap on the right hand side goes green, that confirms we are under racing conditions. And the VSC seems to have ended now by the looks of things. There appears to be there's still yellow flags waving. I wonder what all that is about. So Switchback in 10th place has picked up another 3 seconds worth of time penalty. The thing is, he can't overtake when the track at the moment is still on full course yellow. Switchback gets through, but I think he's going to need to give the place up. It's still under yellow flags, remember, but Switchback is not doing it. DRS is now enabled. I don't understand why we're still under the yellow flag conditions. It makes no sense. Switchback is through. SDQ. Oh, SDQ goes through the polystyrene blocks. He'll jot well down the order. Rejoins behind Tilwick in 13th place. Comes Indu just serving his drive-through penalty. WSP. 3rd place still behind Gamer James, but he will have DRS to get in front of the Ferrari. Switchback has got through on Sully for 7th place. Elog going to the outside of Jim Strav. That's 9th position going his way. Sully is next up. And now Switchback fancies a go on Quasinada. WSP is now through on Gamer James for 2nd. Now with Psychonado's controversial penalty, if WSP can stay within 5 seconds of him, that'll be him taking the victory. And Juninho, 3 seconds for shot limits. And Switchback is now through on Quasinado, but he's picked up another 3 seconds worth of time penalty. That takes it. Oh, and we've got a Renault off! We've got a Renault into the barrier. Sarli this time! And we've got a virtual safety car. We've got a second virtual safety car. Man, if this race couldn't get any more manic, well, it just has done. Now, is there going to be any drivers coming into the pits for a change of tyres? No, there isn't. But that is a really shocking exit there from Sully. Not quite sure what happened. He speared off to the right at Ascari. Of all corners, Ascari has claimed 3 drivers now in this race. And SDQ coming into the pits for a change of tyres, going on to the softs. And now it's a drive-through penalty for SDQ for speeding under the virtual safety car. So that'll be him back into the pits before this race is done. That's his chances of points gone now. So Psychonado in the lead. WSP closing up behind. Gamer Jones still fancies a go of challenging for the race victory. Gamer James with the rear wing open. Looking to get past the AlphaTauri for 2nd place. They'll be too far back to have a go on this occasion. And someone else has gone wide, and SDQ's out. SDQ's binned it on the exit of Ascari, and we've got another virtual safety car. I think the stewards may be having a word with drivers actually in terms of how they tackle Ascari. That's 4 drivers who have been caught out, which has caused either a safety car or a virtual safety car. It's been a manic Italian Grand Prix, but we're back on the way again. And, oh, someone else has... We're going through the yellow flag zone now. It's cleared up. So we're back on the way again. 6 laps remaining. Psychonado's lead 1.5 seconds over WSP with the time penalties applied. It'll be the AlphaTauri who will take the victory, although Psychonado will be appealing his 5 seconds after the race, I would imagine. It's given to him unfairly, to be quite honest with you, by the game. Can WSP closing down. And Damon James on course for his best result of the season for Ferrari. Clipping the curves as he go past. Juninho on course for a brilliant finish, actually in 5th for AlphaTauri. His previous best result has been 8th a couple of times. Now Denmark, as it stands, will go up to the podium with Damon James's time penalty. We've still got 4 laps remaining. Elog making his way up to 7th now. As it stands, switchback would drop back quite a few positions, actually. So here's Cyclonado. Switchback determined to get by Juninho as soon as he can to try and pull out as much of a margin as he can to minimise the damage. I mean, 12 seconds is inexcusable, to be quite honest with you. We use DRS. Pulls alongside and he goes through. Elog posting a new fastest lap of the race. It's a 1:21.7. He is inside the top 10, so he will get that championship point as it stands. Cyclonado still leads. Darius P in second. Damon James has pulled out more than 3 seconds of a gap on Denmark, so he would keep his position on the podium right now. Switchback all over the back of Denmark in the fight for 4th position on the road. The leaders have now started their penultimate lap. And Tilwick has now got past Aston Masters for the final points pay position in 10th. Switchback going to the inside of Denmark into the rest of Fithio. Locks up. He goes through. It's still an effort from Switchback, but this 12-second penalty is going to drop him back quite a bit. Now, how quickly can he close in on Gamer James, I wonder? Switchback, we're looking to pull away from these guys. Elog also closing in behind Juninho. As it stands, Juninho will drop behind Elog at the finish. Rear wing open on the Alfa Romeo, and this should see him go past, as we are now on the last lap of this Italian Grand Prix. Denmark locks up into turn 1, as does Elog. Switchback doing the best he can to keep hold of 4th place on the road. We'll go to the leaders, Psychonado. That's his son. He's not going to be taking the victory. It's going to be Duras P. But I'm sure Psychonado will appeal his penalty after the race, as it was given to him quite unfairly, it has to be said, considering the circumstances. They're coming through the Ascari chicane for the last time now. Psychonado coming through now. It's Denmark is being given a time penalty, which would move Elog up into 5th position and 4th now, actually. But here's Psychonado rounding the parabolic for the last time. But it's WSP for the time being at least. He wins the Italian Grand Prix at Monza. Psychonado drops to 2nd at the finish. But there's going to be some words with the stewards afterwards with regards to the penalty. But WSP is your race winner. Psychonado 2nd. Gamer James 3rd. Elog in 4th place. Denmark 5th. Juninho 6th. Jim Strav in 7th. Quasinada 8th. Switchback is 9th. Aston Masters 10th. Tilwick 11th. Gummers into 12th. And Ray in 13th position. So from 4th down to 9th place for Switchback. 15 seconds worth of time penalty as well. Very bad luck to him. But WSP is your race winner. But it could well be Psychonado with the Italian win, which takes him closer to the title. We'll see what the stewards say afterwards. Drives out onto the podium. WSP collecting the winner's trophy. But will that go to Psychonado before we go to Brazil next week? After an incident-packed race here at Monza, Gamer James will be very happy to be on the podium for the first time this season. So WSP is your race winner for the time being, at least anyway. Psychonado 2nd, Gamer James 3rd, Elog in 4th, and getting the fastest up of the race. Denmark 5th, Juninho is safe, Jim Straff in 7th, had a Quasinada. Switchback in 9th with that 15-second time penalty applied to him. Aston Masters taking the final point in 10th place. Tilwick was 11th, had a Gomes Indu. Ray was not classified. SDQ crashed out, as did Sali, Radicon, Binatinata, and Bishop's Finger. With that result, WSP, as it stands, 14 points behind Psychonado going into the last 3 races of the season. But it could change post-race with regards to Psychonado's penalty being dished out rather unfairly, it has to be said. That's all we've got time for, folks. Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed that race. And we can't wait to do it again in Interlagos, Sao Paulo, Brazil on the 27th of June, 9:30 p.m. British Summer Time. I'm Tom Cairns, and I'll speak to you again soon when the America F1 Series returns.